It's September 2023. I make 2.5k per month from video editing, but I want to take this thing to a whole nother level, like 10k per month. I just came back from my traveling. I moved into this new kind of apartment type place, and I was gonna go and absolutely lock in. That was the lock-in season that was gonna last for however long it took for me to get to 10k per month. And honestly, this is kind of what happened. Over the next year, I experimented with so many productivity hacks and tricks and systems. Some of them were pretty much useless, but some of them did actually work. They did improve my productivity. They enabled me to edit better videos faster. And eventually I got to 10k per month. I hit 10k per month in December 2024. In this video, I actually want to share the stuff that made the most difference in terms of my productivity as a video editor, so that you can pick up on these things and implement them in your own routine, in your own life, and become more productive as well. And one thing that I really want to start out with, genuinely, this small thing that made the most difference was not checking my phone first thing in the morning. My most productive period was when I was waking up at 7 a.m. and then starting to work at 7:15. But the key was that I just don't let any information in from the outside before I start my morning deep work session. The biggest information trigger is obviously going to be your phone, stuff like, checking your WhatsApp or checking messages in general. I don't even know what it does, but it just makes you so much more likely to check messages again while you're actually working. It makes you so much less creative. It makes you kind of sluggish and not wanting to work in general. And also you just might go on a random ass side quest. Like this happened to me so many times. Here I'm sitting and right now and talking about how this one small thing made such a big difference. But in reality, I still was messing up and still checking my phone or other things before starting my deep work session. And what might happen is you just might go on a random side quest because someone messaged you something and now you need to do that thing, and you do it for like half an hour, but it turns out to be more like 40 minutes, and then your work session is completely out of whack. So don't check your phone first thing in the morning, and don't open any random social media tabs on your computer before you're actually starting to work. Social media tabs, crypto portfolio, whatever else you are checking before deep work session, stop doing that, because you're letting information in from the outside world, and somehow it just impacts your creativity by a lot and makes your brain not wanting to work. One thing that I do even now is I go every morning either on a run or on at least a walk, and I don't listen to anything while I'm on that run or on that walk. I just kind of have my own thoughts in my head because I just don't want to let any information in from the outside. I just want to be kind of on my own and think about my own stuff. I find it to be incredibly helpful. Now I want to share two very small things before I'm actually gonna start talking about the thing that matters a lot. But these small things, if you're not doing them, like you're missing out big time, and they're super easy to implement. Basically, these two small things are turning off your notifications on your phone and installing some kind of an app blocker for your phone. So for the notifications, honestly, it's a no-brainer. What a lot of editors tell me is I'm actually going to be more anxious if I do all these things, like I'm going to stop checking my phone in the morning, or I'm going to turn off my notifications on my phone. I'm going to be more anxious and I'm not going to be able to work because of that, which honestly, especially for the first couple of days, probably is going to be true. But after a week or two, you're going to realize that nothing bad is going to happen if you open up your phone for the first time at like 11 a.m. or something, and you're gonna realize that your morning deep work session is so much better, and you're starting your day on a right foot. You're not thinking about all these random things that you can't even impact, that you have seen on messages or on social media or whatever else, and you're way more grounded, way more calm, which enables you to be way more creative. And another thing that it's super easy to implement, like I already mentioned, is just app blockers. Literally a couple of weeks ago, I found myself to be, I wouldn't say that was like a proper rut and everything, but I just found myself to be less productive than I usually am, and I also felt a bit worse. And I started thinking about why does this happen, and I realized it's because I was constantly checking my phone for like small things. It starts out very small, like you had ad blocker for Instagram, but then you cope that, oh, I actually need Instagram or Twitter for my work because I need to check messages from potential clients or whatever. And those small things add up, and then you find yourself constantly checking your phone. So ad blockers prevent you from doing exactly that. I think in general, the harder you can make your phone to use, the better. Personally, I was never able to stick with the black and white filter. That's just, I don't know, way too much for me. But one thing I do have is, you know how when you, by default, you can tap your screen on your phone and it's gonna light up and you're gonna be able to use it. I don't have that, I disabled it, so the only way I can unlock my phone is if I press that button on the side, and then it's gonna light up and I'm gonna be able to unlock it. And regarding the app blocker, I mentioned I use one and it's called OneSec, so 6 letters, ONESEC. Basically what it does is it makes you wait for, I'm pretty sure 8 seconds or so before you open the app that you selected to be blocked. So for me, it's Instagram, Twitter, Discord as well. You can maybe also do YouTube, for example. What these things do is they make sure that when you unlock your phone and go on any of these apps, you actually want to go there. Like you're kind of conscious about going there. You're not doing it because of your habit, because you're just bored for 10 seconds, but because maybe with Instagram, honestly, for me, it happens where I just need to kill 5 minutes and then I'm like, okay, I'm gonna open Instagram, I'm gonna, do whatever, just check friends' stories for 5 minutes. That's fine, but I'm conscious about that. And what happened, like I said, a couple of weeks ago, where somehow these app blockers and everything else started slipping one by one. And at the moment, it seems small and insignificant, but I just found myself like opening up Instagram randomly 10 times a day for no reason and being there for like 10 seconds and then closing it. Because I realized I don't need Instagram, I'm just opening it just because I got bored. And that is not good. It genuinely impacts how you work, and honestly, it impacts general quality of your life as well, which is very important. Now, let's actually talk about the two things that I really want to talk about, because I don't see people talk about these nearly enough. The first thing is going to be 2 different separated Chrome profiles. You most likely use Google Chrome as your browser while editing for, you need to open up Epidemic or Artlist to grab music, or you need to open up YouTube to grab like some video to use in your video that you're editing. And what's really helpful is creating 2 separate Chrome profiles. One is going to be for your personal life and another one is going to be for your work. So the differences between those two is that on my work Chrome profile, I'm not logged in on Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube in my actual personal accounts. And obviously I'm not using the personal Chrome profile while working, just because I have everything that I need in that work Chrome profile. So even it goes for bookmarks. For example, bookmarks on my work Chrome profile have stuff like Frame.io, Epidemic Sound, Track Club, Miroboard, Calendly, Google Calendar, Google Meets, Riverside. So only the stuff that's work related. And on my personal account, it would be stuff like YouTube or Gmail, whatever you need in your personal life. Also stuff like there is this extension called Undistracted that basically is going to hide YouTube thumbnails, because even though you're logged out of your personal YouTube account and your recommendations are kind of shit, you don't really want to watch those videos. But just to be on the safer side, you can even install, like I said, stuff like Undistracted, a Chrome extension that's going to do stuff like hide YouTube thumbnails, hide Twitter feed, hide Instagram feed, stuff like that. However, the bigger theme here that I really want to talk about is work-life separation. So having two separate Chrome profiles is just one way you can separate your personal and work life, which I think is insanely important because people talk about work-life balance, but I don't really think work-life balance is how it works. I like to think more of it like work-life separation. Because what work-life separation does, it enables you to do two things. So it enables you both to work more productively, and then it enables you to live your life just better because you know that you have done all of your work beforehand, and that the fact that you are now living your life and actually recharging and actually not thinking about work then is going to make you be more productive while working the next day, and then that is going to lead to again enjoying your life. So you see how it all kind of ties together, and it's this upward spiral that inherently is going to improve your life by a lot. So some more work-life separation examples and how you can start implementing it. For me, honestly, a huge thing is just some kind of exercise, because when you've been working sitting for like 4 hours, then the worst thing you can do to recharge is keep sitting on your computer and watch YouTube or something like that. But the best thing you can do is to just get out of your house and go to the gym and be away for like 3 hours, speak to people, work out, do these things that are insanely different from what you would do while you're working. And that is really the key, doing as different of stuff as possible in those two phases, so work and life, because you separate them. And really what it means is you're focused while working, so while you're living your life, you should be unfocused, you should be just kind of hanging out with friends or doing whatever. So start thinking about when you are done with your work and you want to go and recharge, you want to take a break, just do the thing that's going to be as different as from what you were just doing, so working, as possible. Like I said, exercise is one of the best ways to do that, just because it is very different. If you can combine that with something social, like speaking to people, then that's going to be even better. Anyway, I appreciate you watching. If you want me personally to help you to scale from 1 to 2K per month to 5 to 10K per month with video editing, then go click the first link in the description. Otherwise, I'm gonna see you in the next one. Peace.